Hi guys, this is my first video, so bear with me, I'm kind of just winging it here. But I wanted to talk to you today about one of my favourite subjects, astrology. So this will sort of be like an Astrology 101 sort of lesson. So irrespective of what your personal experience with astrology is, whether you're an astrologist or a professional astrologer, or a budding astrologist, or a neophyte, novice. I just wanted to basically sort of take you through the basics when it comes to natal charting. So your natal chart is basically, depending on whether you follow Vedic or tropical astrology, so the Eastern versus the Western system. Natal charting in Western tropical astrology basically shows you where each of the planets in our solar system were and what house they were transiting at the time of your birth. So I have some props. Here's one I prepared earlier. So this is an example of a natal wheel, okay? And it's sectioned into 12 houses, all right? And each of the star signs are allocated to each of the houses. So you have your first house, which is ruled by Aries, the planet of which the ruler is Mars, and the motto for Aries is I am. Okay, so the first house is I am, and this motto is assigned to this particular house because when we incarnate into the 3D realm, into the physical realm, Earth, we break away from what's called unity consciousness and we become aware of our own beingness. So the first thing we learn is I am. Okay, so Aries rules the first house of I am. Aries is the cardinal fire sign. So cardinal signs are allocated to each of the elements within the zodiac. So Aries is the cardinal fire sign, okay? Cardinal basically means they are the initiators, the leaders. They're the ones that kind of give you a bit of a kick up the bum and say, okay, something's not right here, or something's amiss, or we need to make a change. So up and at 'em, all right? Second house is ruled by Taurus. Taurus is a fixed earth sign. So fixed is the modality of Taurus, and fixed is basically more immovable, all right? People like to think of fixed signs as stubborn. I like to think of them as loyal. That's the superlative that I like to give to that particular modality. So Taurus rules the second house of finances, security, possessions, so tangible, earthly, physical possessions, all right? And its motto is, or mantra is, I have. Third house is ruled by Gemini. Gemini, my personal favorite. I have my moon and my Venus in Gemini. In tropical astrology, I'm a Cancer, but actually in Vedic astrology, my sun falls in the third house, which is ruled by Gemini, okay? Gemini is ruled by Mercury, okay? Mercury is the planet of information technology. You may sometimes hear about Mercury retrograde, which causes a heap of technical issues for people. I like to think of Mercury as the prankster of the zodiac, okay? And their motto is, the Gemini Mercury motto is I think, okay? So it's a very intellectual sign, and Gemini is the modality of Gemini is mutable, okay? So that means they're very transitional. So mutables are usually the signs that will help us move into a new situation, all right? They help to transition us from circumstance to circumstance. So Gemini rules the third house of communication, short trips, so short distance travel, siblings and small groups, okay? Fourth house is Cancer, which is ruled by the moon. Cancer is the cardinal water sign. Cancer is the mother sign, okay? The most famous Cancer in the world was Princess Diana. I always like to make the contrast between Aries, fire, and Cancer, water, okay? The most famous Aries in history is Hitler, And the most famous Cancer in history is Princess Diana, okay? So you can really see the contrast there, all right? So Cancer rules the 4th house of motherhood, the home, okay, which makes a lot of sense. Cancer carries the crab. The totem is the crab, carries its shell on its head or carries its home wherever it goes, so it can always make a home for itself, okay? And the motto or the mantra for the 4th house is I feel. Then we have the 5th house, which is Leo, who is ruled by the sun. Now, what I love about this this particular house is that it's all about creativity, romance, children, all the good stuff in life. All right, like I said, Leo is ruled by the sun, and I like to make the similarity, the physical characteristics of similarity between the mane of the lion, okay, so the totem is the lion. Whenever we draw a picture of the sun, we always draw the glare around it, all right, so I always liken that to the mane of the sun is similar to the mane of the lion, okay. The sun is all about power, all right. And Leo, the 5th house Leo motto is I will, all right? And I think that's pretty pertinent to that particular house. Have you ever met a Leo who you've been able to tell you can't do something? All right, so Leo is the fixed fire sign of the 5th house, all right? Then we have the 6th house, Virgo. So I have a lot of ties to Virgo because I personally have a stellium in Virgo. All right, so Virgo rules the 6th house of health and wellness, but also work. Now, not always professional work or career or anything like that, but the way in which we work, okay, to achieve anything, whether it be cleaning our room or having to organise our route for the week if we're going to be on the road, okay? And Virgo 6th house, that's also ruled by Mercury, okay, so very intellectual. That's where the analytical side and the perfectionism side comes from with Virgo. And the Virgo motto is I analyse, all right, so very pertinent, very fitting. Virgo, I should say, is also the mutable earth sign. 7th house is Libra. Okay, the scales. Okay, so it's all about balance. So their motto, their mantra is I balance, which makes a lot of sense. Now, Libra is the cardinal air sign. Okay, so again, all about communication. What I really, just to digress a little bit, what I really love about the air signs is that you'll find within their houses and within their totems is that duality is prevalent. Not just present, because there's duality present in everything earthly, but in their totems. So with the scales, you have the 2 sides of the scales. With Gemini, you have the 2 twins, and we will get to Aquarius in un momento. We'll get to Aquarius in a minute, but you also have the water bearer, okay? So you have the person bearing the water, but Aquarius is an air sign. So the fact that there is water present in that air sign just goes to show that you do have duality very heavily present in each of these particular signs, okay? So just back to Libra, the motto for Libra is I balance, okay? Cardinal air sign ruled by Venus. And the 7th house rules partnerships and relationships. So not necessarily romantic or intimate or sexual relationships, but any kind of partnership, whether it be business partnership or your relationship with somebody else who is important to your day-to-day workings in your life, okay? Also ruled by Venus. Then we have the 8th house. Now, what I find really interesting about the 8th house is that it's symbolized, and if you get to know me, I love anything symbolic, and I love symbology. So the 8th house, all right, so 8, the symbol of infinity, all right. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, my personal favorite planet, only because of the runaround that poor old Pluto has been given over the years. Is it a planet? Isn't it a planet? Is it a dwarf planet? What is it? So oddly enough, Pluto is all about transformation. So the energy of Pluto is transformation. Coincidence? I think not. Another thing you'll get to know about me is I don't believe in coincidences. Everything has a synchronicity to it. All right. So that 8th house, That 8 is all about infinity. Now, Scorpio rules the 8th house of death, okay? When it comes to death, on the wheel of life, the wheel of fortune, you have death and birth at the same time. So nothing ever dies. We know that we're energetic beings. We cannot die. Energy only transforms, okay? Can only be changed or transformed. All right, so Scorpio rules death, sex, how are we born? Okay, and the underworld, okay, also inheritances and other people's money, but just for the purposes of this particular tutorial, I like to focus on the death and birth, okay, so death equals rebirth and always some kind of transformation. Now, Scorpio is the fixed water sign, all right, and the mantra for, I love this, for Scorpio is I lust, all right. Such a cool sign. Gets a bad rap, but I love it. Then we have the 9th sign, Sagittarius. This is ruled by Jupiter, okay? So Jupiter is all about expansion, okay? No coincidence that Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Sagittarius is all about higher learning, philosophy, long distance travel. Okay, so all about expansion, all right? Expanding your mind, expanding your psyche, expanding your consciousness, all right? Sagittarius is the mutable fire sign. All right, what I love about Sagittarius is they are just completely cutthroat. They're also highly analytical as well and very, very intellectual. All right, and the motto for the 9th house is I see, okay? Then we move on to Capricorn. Now, what you'll notice is the opposition here from the 10th house to the 4th house of Cancer. So where Cancer rules the 4th house of home, okay, and reproductive organs, so it's all about mothering, okay? You have Tropic of Capricorn above the horizon, okay? So where Cancer, Tropic of Cancer is below the horizon, that's on the wheel, that's all about privacy and things that happen in your own home that you keep to yourself. Capricorn rules the 10th house of career, fame, and public image, okay? So Capricorn basically exalts those ascendant traits, okay? So that's the 10th house. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is the planet of karmic laws, rules, structure, constructs, etc., etc. All right, so Capricorn 10th house, and its mantra is I use, okay? Capricorn generally tends to represent the father energy, okay, of our lives. Although, you know, coming into or being well into the 21st century now, we have a little bit more fluidity when it comes to gender roles. But this is all about, this isn't about sex organs, this is all about the energy, our masculine and our feminine, okay? So Capricorn generally tends to exalt our masculine side. Cancer generally tends to exalt our more feminine side, our divine feminine, okay? All right, then we come into the 11th house, Aquarius, okay? Aquarius is the fixed air sign, okay? Its mantra is I know, ruled by Uranus, okay? So one of the outer planets, okay? Uranus is all about rebellion, it's all about science, okay? So Aquarius tends to be, we tend to think of Aquarians as very outside the box, and they absolutely most certainly are. They can be quite rebellious when it comes to societal constructs. It's one of the things I really love about Aquarius, okay? They rule the 11th house of community, friendships, and humanity. So Aquarius is very inclusive. And what I love is, again, in opposition, because you always must have duality with everything in this particular realm, okay? Aquarius is I know, and it directly opposes the 5th house, Leo, which is I will. Now, whereas Leo is insular, all about itself, Aquarius is all about inclusivity, okay? So it's about humanity as a whole, all right? And then we come to the beautiful last house, Pisces. Now, the Pisces totem is the 2 fish swimming in opposite directions, and this is just representative of Pisces all over. So Pisces rules the 12th house of psyche, our subconscious, and our conscious. So the fish totems represent our conscious and our subconscious, okay? Pisces is ruled by Neptune, all right? Water sign, the mutable water sign. Pisces are all about imagination. They don't deal with life. Actually, I could just stop it there. They don't really deal with life. They tend to really go into their psyches, into their imaginations, to be able to deal with societal influences that may not resonate with their personal alignment. Okay, and their motto, the 12th house motto, is I believe. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. But if you would like to give me some suggestions, don't forget to comment in the comments below, and also please subscribe to my channel, and let me know of any other topics or subjects that you might like me to delve into. Thank you so much for honouring me with your time, and I hope to see you on the next video. KLB out.